This is John Sway, and I'm back for another episode of In My Own Words. All right, so today, the topic that I want to focus on is roadblocks. So, by definition, a roadblock is a barrier or barricade on a road, especially one set up by the authorities to stop and examine traffic. So, of course, we all know the thing that we automatically associate to a barrier is a roadblock, something that's stopping us from going where we gotta go. And so the other part that I want to focus on that really stood out to me in reading this just now, um, are authorities. So what's authorizing things in your life? So we have authorities that come into play with these roadblocks. We also have the road symbolizing our life. Uh, Life is often equated to a race. Sometimes we finish early. Sometimes it takes us a long time to finish. It's like a marathon to some people. But life is a race, and it's a path, almost like a trail in the forest, or whatever that you may be running on, or maybe it's like a track, a loop. But either way, it is a trail, a path that you're going down, or that you're not necessarily going down, but that you are traveling. So it's crazy when we have these roadblocks, and just thinking of it makes me think of a deeper question that I often ask myself, and that is, what's stopping you from being successful? So for all of us, you've probably been told all your life, or if not all your life, at some point in your life, hopefully, people have told you, I see a whole lot of potential in you. There's just a whole lot of great things that are going to come from you. You got this talent, you got that talent. Man, what can't you do? You hear that a lot. But yet, if you're like me, or at some point you probably thought, well, this isn't happening, that isn't happening. And even though these people tell me that I have all of this potential, where is it at? Or if I can see it, what is it really doing for me? Nothing. You know what I mean? And I've been through that in my life, and I'm still going through it. It's like all of this potential, you tell me that I'm great. I can even see that I'm great, but why is everything in my life almost less than average, or why do I perceive it as almost less than average? And so again, when you look at what's stopping you from being great or successful or amazing, or whatever adjective that you want to put next to your name, think about the roadblocks in place. So again, going back to that definition, because it really is very, very powerful. But a roadblock, a barrier or barricade on a road, especially one set up by authorities to stop and examine traffic. So when you look at the traffic that's going on in your life, what we'll call the traffic is that, like, we can associate that to what you are looking to do, right? Because that is what keeps you going. I'm working, I'm going to be this, for instance, for the carpenter or for the builder that's building a house. My goal is to build this house, and that's what I do because that's how I get my money. So I'm gonna keep on going, doing this, boom, I got the house. Next one, this, boom, I got the house. And so think about those barriers that come up in the midst of that traffic that could possibly stop it. What authorizes things? For instance, in that building scenario, you have the contractors, the funding, and all of these other things that could possibly stop that builder. So again, that builder, I'm building this, almost got the house, and now I got to stop because we don't got any more money to get the rest of these materials, or I'm building, boom. And then after I'm almost done, or in the middle of that, where I'm almost at the climax of this building experience, all of a sudden the rain is coming. tornado is coming and it messes up everything I got, or something is coming in to stop me that could possibly be a roadblock, but that's also an authority figure over what I can do, or an authority figure over that traffic that I'm trying to create and that I'm trying to maintain and keep up, so that I can keep on trudging down this path and get to my goal and become whatever I'm destined to become in life. So think about the traffic that's in your life, the traffic that you're making for yourself, and we'll call this traffic positive, but the traffic that you're creating for yourself, think about those things that can be characterized as roadblocks. Again, going back to that word authority, that have authority over the flow of that traffic, right? Again, remember, traffic is all of those productive things that you're doing to get down this path of life, to keep on running this race successfully. But what things, again, have authority over you getting to where you need to be? For me personally, one thing that I do career wise is I'm a videographer. I do video work. That's what I love doing. That's one umbrella of the many things that I love doing. And what I've noticed lately, especially with making this podcast and with working on other things, especially certain video projects, when it comes down to it, I can shoot stuff all day, whether it's pictures, and I'm still perfecting my photography skills, but whether it's pictures or whether it's video, video is really my specialty. I can shoot all day. I can set up that stuff all day, almost with my eyes closed. Like I've developed that because I've been doing it for so long and the passion is there. But when it comes to that final part of it where I'm editing things, those are where my roadblocks come in. The roadblock of, dang, this client might not like what I give them. This client may not like the end result. And so it has me thinking, or even digging into my theater origins, I was brutalized mentally with concepts. Like just thinking of concepts when I was in scenography class at the University of West Georgia, to the point where like I really, really, really banged myself over the head with different ideas and scenarios for concepts, because that's the basis of having a cohesive video to me, or really anything design wise. You have to start with a concept that you're going to build this idea off of, or to develop this idea off of. And so that's one thing that often gets me, and it kind of comes to me and it hurries up it, in the final hours, to where I'm in that crunch time, and I wouldn't call that a superpower. I need to develop a way to make that happen faster. But again, it's that roadblock of, man, I got to think about the perfect concept. And in order to do that, I need to go out and walk in this place, or go out and walk in that place, or just stop doing this and let it marinate. And all that time, what I've noticed over time and over evaluating myself, is that I end up wasting more time than I should. And more times than not, what I end up doing is either rushing, and granted, I put out some nice stuff, but I end up rushing, which I don't really like, because it always plagues my mind to think of what I could have done if I would have put more time into it before that deadline. But again, just this thought of the roadblocks that come up in my mind. And I believe that's the point that I'm making right now by even talking about this particular thing, is that for us, yeah, under that authority umbrella, going back to that word from the definition, yeah, sure, there's many things that could be over, that could be an authority figure over the traffic in our life that we're looking to generate. So yeah, people could say the government, they're like that big authority figure over a lot of people's lives. And maybe, the weather and stuff like that, it has a heavy authority over people's lives. And even from an income standpoint, rent and bills and all of this stuff, and even if you have kids and the expenses that come with that, are they really play a part in that figure that controls the traffic of your life, or that has authority over the traffic of your life. But one thing besides all of those things that I want you to focus on, that has a lot of authority over the traffic of your life, are your thoughts. So we can have good thoughts and we can have bad thoughts. Our mind, it's amazing how powerful it is, because just like our mind can make us do something, or can inspire us to and push us to do something great and amazing, it can also inspire us to be mediocre. Think about it. Out of all of the muscles that you have in your body, your arms, you could be the biggest muscle builder or bodybuilder. That's the word for it. You could be the biggest and most successful bodybuilder in the world that you want to be. But if you really think about it, one of the strongest muscles, organs, instruments, whatever the proper term is for it, in your body is your mind. It's your mind. So going back to these roadblocks and going back to this idea of authority, your mind has so much authority over what you do and how you actually do it and the speed at which you do it. So the point that I'm making is, first of all, evaluate all of the roadblocks that you have. But remember that one of the greatest roadblocks that a lot of us are dealing with firsthand before any of these other ones come in, like bills, the government, all of that other stuff, before that even comes into play to act up and have its own reign of terror on you when you're trying to get that traffic in your life going, and it's putting out its own roadblocks. The strongest entity against you is your mind. And again, it can work for you quite nicely, but think about how your mind is working against you. And if you can defeat that part of it, think about the question that I had. What's stopping you from being successful? If you recognize that and stop it, think about the difference that you can make in your life. Think about the different quality of life that you can have. So again, I'm going to end on this. Evaluate the roadblocks in your life, but pay close attention to your roadblocks that come up from your mind, from your thinking, from your thoughts. Those things that tell you don't do this when you have that desire to, again, for this podcast. Even yesterday, when I was putting together a visual presentation, and it wasn't the most extensive visual presentation, but after I had recorded the podcast that I did on fear yesterday, what I did is later on that day, of course, the next part is putting it out. I had to think about putting it out, whether I want to put it on an audio platform that only showcases audio only, or whether I wanted to put it on YouTube or whatever. And so I was like, okay, I'll do it on YouTube. And then with that, the next thing was, okay, well, it's not going to serve well to just put audio on YouTube because it's not an audio only platform, for at least for what most people are accustomed to using it for, even though they may listen to music. You got visuals in it. If you don't have a lot of visuals, you got one visual in it. So with that said, I was like, dang, I got to make this into a visual. And so just putting together concepts and everything, it was a drag to finally open up my computer to get to it. And then after that, to actually edit the stuff the way that I wanted it to be. And then after that, to finally uh just finish putting everything together. It was a struggle that whole time, because all the during that whole experience, it probably took maybe about an hour to 2 hours to really like get everything together and to finish exporting it and all of that, and get it ready to upload to YouTube. But even in that time, just all of the thoughts that I had of, man, do I really got to do this? Man, maybe I should just, let some more time go by. But it was this thing on the positive side of my brain, whatever part that is, that was saying, yo, hurry up and do this. And the blessing in social media, I really don't see it as a blessing a lot of times, because there's a lot of distractions on there that we open up our eyes to. But one thing that helped me is Steve Harvey. He had this thing called Motivational Monday, or motivation. No, it was what was it? Mentor Monday. And so on that, I get it just happened to be in my feed because, again, uh my mind was having a battle between that good side. It's like, do this, do this, do this, be productive, you got it, you can do it. And it was fighting the bad side. I was like, man, chill out, sit on the couch, you don't gotta work that fast on that. And as it was battling that, that side was winning at first, because I was taking a break. I was on Instagram looking at stuff, because live is hot these days. And so I happened to just click on the only live that was available. And again, it was Steve Harvey's Mentor Monday. And from there, just the energy from that pushed me to be like, yo, you gotta do this, right? You gotta do this, because, like, how can you not? You know what I mean? What else is your life worth right now? Is it really worth wasting right now, or is it worth getting it in? And so I was fortunate to have that inspiration to defeat that the bad side of my brain that was saying, yo, you need to chill, you don't got to do that right now. Chill out, do the same old process that you've been doing for a while. And what happened is, by making that change, making that shift, and by having that positive influence around me, again, that I was just fortunate to have, because I didn't know that Steve Harvey was doing that yesterday on Mondays. I didn't follow his page like that. I mean, I follow him on Instagram, but I wasn't plugged in like that to his every move. So, I feel like even that was something that was totally God ordained, because, when, the blessings open, and when God puts you in position, you're just in position, and he makes a way. So with that said, I know I kind of went on a little longer than I normally wanted to. But again, with that said, today, whenever you're listening to this, remember to answer that question, and remember to fight that roadblock, the strongest one that we have beyond anything else is our mind. Train it. It's trained to be bad and to be fleshy in nature, meaning that it's going to give in to all of your desires that may not be beneficial, but it's your desires. So, that's what's cool, but fight it, train it to be good, to be goal oriented, to be positive, to upkeep that traffic. But do not let your mind have the authority to stop the positive traffic in your life. All right, so I'm gonna leave you with that. Be successful today whenever you hear this, and let's take over the world. Let's take over our lives, and let's have a great day.